Welcome, heroes and villains, to Fjook Enterprises YouTube channel. Take a moment, relax, stop your bickering, and just enjoy the show. So today, we are talking with Privateinvestigamer about Street Fighter.
Mhm.
So how long have you been playing Street Fighter?
Um, I think the earliest I can remember, I was 4 years old. We just got the Super Nintendo, which came with Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting. So I would say from about 4 years old. Um, I dabbled a bit in other fighting games here and there with friends from like my nursery, I would say, I guess you say, and mash buttons at the arcades. But yeah, it was from when I can remember Super Nintendo. It's my earliest memory is playing Street Fighter.
Have you always been good at it?
God no, God no. I was never good at it until Street Fighter Alpha 2. Until we got that on the Sega Saturn. I want to say 1999.
So when did you go from playing against your friends to competitions?
Um, so I studied in a place in the UK called Staffordshire, where a local shop that's now closed, unfortunately, called Chips, would host weekly tournaments. So I went from playing friends there, and then they started hosting their own tournaments called Chips. It was COC, Chips Official Championship. That's when I started taking Street Fighter really serious. That would have been 2010. So 2010 is when I started actually entering competitions and tournaments. So when I first started playing in that championship, there was about 20 people there for a good couple of years. Well, a good couple of months slash years. I would come top 15 out of the 20. Um, that didn't change for the first year until I switched characters. So up until um, that period, so about 2011, we're looking at now. I was playing Guile, and somewhat played Dalzim, which turns out didn't suit my fighting style, which is I like gimmicks. So I switched to Vega as of 2011, and that's when I started becoming top five, top three, and then uh, early 2012, I came number one in my local scene. There used to be a tournament here in Wales, so I used to travel quite far because I studied in Staffordshire. I'm from Wales. I used to travel from Staffordshire to Wales for something called the Weekend Welsh Warrior. Welsh Warrior was a national tournament in Wales, hosted in Cardiff. Um, for again, a long time there. I think I went there for about 6, 7 months before I started getting into what we call the top eight bracket. Um, I was taught how to play the character properly at those tournaments from someone who I don't know his name, and if he's ever watching, please get in touch. From the King Goat, who used to be the best Vega player in the world. He didn't show up for about a year or two, which is unfortunate because I took first place at the Weekend Welsh Warrior. I came first place. I want to say 3 months in a row in 2012. After that, we had the Dynamite Rumble. Dynamite Rumble was in Peterborough, which is south of England. Again, I used to travel quite a lot for these little micro tournaments. So I only went there once, and I've only been there once. I should go back again. I took first place there. First place prize there took me to the 25th anniversary tournament in Telford.
And how'd you do at that 25th anniversary tournament?
Oh, I got destroyed. There was I want to say 1,700 people there. I won my first 5 games. Came across someone called Owen Hart, Ryan Hart. Who, if anyone's watching who knows the FGC, he also known as Prodigal Son. He's probably the best Sagat player probably the best UK fighting game player. I probably still say until today. I think I came out of that amount of people. I want to say top 100.
Are your skills still as sharp as they were back then?
So I'm not, in terms of reflexes, I'm not very good. My strategy is I like to sit there, let my opponent do all the thinking for me, get themselves really frustrated to the point where they start making mistakes. So I would say yes, because kids today like to press buttons. They like to sit in the lab for hours upon hours and then take it online and watch it work. And then someone like me who doesn't jump, who doesn't press buttons, who sits there, lets you press the buttons, they come across me and they don't know what to do. I'm old when it comes to the fighting game scene. So, for example, if kids now, if they play Street Fighter 2, they'd get destroyed because they want to jump in the air, they want to press all the buttons. We can't do that in Street Fighter 2. So now, it's still somewhat the same, but games now allow you to press the buttons. So, in short answer, I'd say yes. Long answer, no, with an asterisk.
So, do you have any advice for people that want to get into either fighting games casually or competitively?
So, casually, yes. I'd say if you're looking to get into a fighting game, just to jump online or even jump in train mode, press some buttons, I'd say pick a fighting game. Whatever you think fits great, or whatever your friends play, just pick it up. Second advice is if you see a character that looks cool, choose that character. It might not be suited for you, but whilst you're learning, you're going to be looking at that character for a damn long time. So you got to make sure that character is aesthetically pleasing. The third one is learn your basic buttons before you learn your combos. And what I mean by this is learn your one button anti-airs, your one button counters, your pokes, your answer tools essentially. You learn those, so, you'll be learning combos naturally. So, for example, if you're going to pick Ryu in Street Fighter, you want to learn your crouching medium kick. That's your best poke. You want to learn your best anti-air with him, which is be crouching fierce. Before you learn a Hadouken, it's the case of learn to walk before you learn to run. Learn your buttons first, and then learn the inputs afterwards. The second one, well, the second one, the fourth advice I'd give is lose, and lose a lot, because when you lose, you've done something wrong, and that's when you learn. The human nature in fighting games is I haven't learned anything because I did everything right. The second you stop learning stuff is when you've done everything right. You can always look back on a video and realize, oh, I shouldn't have done this, I should do that. This is what I need to work on. Take notes. If you're getting hit by something, have a look at what you're doing before you get hit. Are you just sitting down, not reacting? Are you being too passive? Are you being too calm? Next advice is realize it's just a game. If you're not looking to make money from it, why are you upset? I see a lot of people who are not looking to get into competitively shout and rave at the screen. Don't do that. If you're just looking to have a bit of fun, jump online, realize it's just a game, lose a couple of games, and then every now and again, just absolutely turd on someone if you feel like you can. In the competitive scene, this is a completely different wild beast because not only do you have to find your local scene, most scenes run annually, meaning you won't get that common practice if you're looking to just be purely competitive. I'd say have a sparring buddy, so someone you know who is very good or is on your level, and just fight each other just non-stop on point on point, and make sure they're a good friend because you're going to be doing a lot of horrible things to them in this game that they're not going to like and may cause you to lose your friendships. It's happened to me a few times. But travel with this friend. If you go into a tournament just down the road, take your friend. Going across country, take your friend. Going to another country, take this friend. This is your lifeline. They're the ones that's going to be sitting next to you, giving you advice, and and the one that you'll be giving them advice as well. They will see things in your gameplay that you are not looking for or not seeing yourself. So have a training buddy. This is why boxers, wrestlers, anyone in martial arts will have one key sparring buddy. It's because they will see things and help point out flaws in the gameplay. The other thing is make sure you have steady income and don't rely on competition to begin with for income. A lot of us in the FGC will tell you there's not much money in the competitive scene. The money comes from sponsorships. It comes from people coming to your streams to actually see how you play outside of a tournament. It comes from donations. It comes from getting free swag from winning tournaments. So if you win an arcade stick, sell it because they're worth a lot of money. Don't expect to make money from purely competitive scene alone. Look at other ways you can revenue from your victory. So, like I said, streaming, monetize it, YouTube, put up gameplay, create a following, and then the finances will come towards you.
As my penultimate question, are there any memories of when you were in a competitive scene that you would like to share?
Yeah. So there was one time I entered. I had taken, I want to say, a good 5-year break from the competitive scene, and I was at a LAN event called Epic LAN in Kettering, UK. They had ARMS, as in the Nintendo fighting game ARMS, on display on the side, which I've been playing for a couple of months, and I entered their little fun tournament, and I saw a guy and a girl talking, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna win this keyboard for you. You need a new keyboard, blah blah." So I thought, I'm gonna enter, and if he fights me, I'm gonna let him have the keyboard and say he beat me, which I never do. I never do. So I beat everyone else in ARMS, and I eventually came up towards him. Luckily enough, he made it to the final, and I let him win the first 2 games, and it was the last my game for him to win, and he would have won the keyboard. But then he turns to me and taunts me, saying, "Don't worry, I've got this guy. This guy doesn't know what he's doing." So if you ever played ARMS, it's a little punchy, like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I locked my arms into position, and his friend turns to him and goes, "Oh, he looks ready." So the first round starts, and I punch him once and just run around the map and let him time out. His friend goes, "I didn't know there was a timer on the screen." Second round, I got him to low health, got him to where he's got his special, activated his special, and I was using the boxing gloves. Anyone knows what the boxing gloves are good at? It's parrying. He activated his special. I parried each individual hit, knocked him into the air, and threw him in for the win. One of my favorite memories ever. And I turned to him after I won all the rest of the set. I shook his hand and said, "Don't taunt me," and just walked away. I think the other one fighting game memory I like is I used to play casual fighting game tournaments with my friend Sam. He was my sparring partner for a long while. We sat down to play a tournament of Street Fighter 2 Turbo. We would smash each other's faces against each other's controller the entire day. Then, as it's a very short story, but as soon as they said, right, the tournament started, we both locked our arms up and bumped fists. And that's how an FGC should be. It should be, I'm an animal until we walk away from the game, and then, we're friends again. My third and final favorite memory is my crippling defeat at Mortal Kombat 11 in 2019. So I won my way to the finals, and so did this other person who was a Smash Bros. Professional player, by the way. I wasn't allowed to use my arcade stick because it was unfortunately on the PS4. I had an Xbox /PC arcade stick, so I had to learn the whole game new. But it's okay. I had to use the control pad. I got to the final with the control pad, and I met up with someone. My superpower, by the way, is those who are very cocky and arrogant. I absorb that power and just throw it back in their face and destroy them. If they're ever nice, I lose. So I lose against nice people. This guy sat down, shook my hand, and said, "Good luck, have fun, have a good game." I went, I don't know how to respond to this. People are mean to me. So, needless to say, he absolutely demolished me. And instead of taunting, he shook my hand and said, "Well played." I was like, no, swear at me. Say something mean. But it when I realized I can't fight nice people because I think something in my brain says they're nice people, don't kill them.
Okay, I know I said that was my penultimate question, which means the next question should be my final question. But what happened to the keyboard?
I was going to give him the key. So, like I said, I was going to let him win the keyboard. So when there's, I'll show the picture. You can throw it on the screen afterwards if you'd like. There's as I went to go collect my prize. So at the end of the Sunday, which is when they do the prize announcements, they brought me on the stage. I walked past with a keyboard and said, "Is it this you're after? It's a nice keyboard. I'm going to use it to win StarCraft," and just walked away. I told him I'm a villain.
As my final question, you're well aware of it. As my final question, it's always my final question. Is there anything or anyone you would like to shout out at this time?
Yeah, I'd like to give a special mention, like I said, if anyone's in the area, to Geek Retreat Bridgend. It's my local Geek Retreat. They are very nice, very welcoming. They got me back into card games, which I never thought I'd do. I'm back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm becoming a problem again. I've got a nickname, which is Fish Guy, because I run fish decks and everyone hates me at Yu-Gi-Oh! I've gone back into Magic the Gathering, playing Commander. I've started playing Dragon Ball Super card game. I'd also like to shout out, and if he's watching, I'd like him to get in touch. The Goat King, like I said, the person who taught me how to play my character properly, and the reason why I became so good in the first place. I'd like to shout out Maximilian Dood, who everyone will know, but what an inspiration to the FGC and how the FGC should be. Yeah, they're my shout outs.
Thank you for joining me. It was a blast talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Have a good day. And everyone in chat, hi and bye.